हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं आपका ऋषि सर एंड अ वेरी वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू। आज हम ज्योग्राफी का चैप्टर 1 रिसोर्सेज एंड डेवलपमेंट को एकदम आसानी से पीस बाय पीस समझने वाले हैं। सो आर यू रेडी? चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
So here's our game plan for today. First up, we'll figure out what resources actually are. Then we'll dive into why planning them is so critical. After that, we'll get into the story of India's land and soil, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways. Simple, right? Let's go.
तो दोस्तों सबसे पहला सवाल, what exactly is a resource? Just for a second, look around you. The mobile you're watching this on, the water you drink, the air you breathe, even the chair you're sitting on. ये सब चीजें हैं जो हमारी कोई ना कोई जरूरत, नीड को satisfy करती हैं।
But there's a very common idea that all these resources are just a free gift of nature. Haina, we've all thought this at some point. But I want you to pause for a moment. Is that really the whole truth?
The answer is a big no. Resources are not free gifts. Now भैया की बात ध्यान से सुनो. For anything to become a resource, it has to pass 3 tests. 1, it must be technologically accessible. मतलब, we must have the tech to get it. 2, it must be economically feasible. इसे निकालने का खर्चा उसकी वैल्यू से ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. And 3, it has to be culturally acceptable. So you see, resources aren't just there. They are a function of human activities.
Okay, let's break this down further. We can classify resources in a few different ways. First, based on origin, you have biotic, which means living, like our forests, and abiotic, which is non-living, like rocks and minerals. Then, based on exhaustibility, we have renewable resources like sunlight, which we can use again and again, and non-renewable, like coal, which once gone is gone forever. We also classify them by ownership and by their status of development. This table makes it all super clear. So now we know what resources are and their different types. But this brings us to the most important question of this chapter. Why on earth do we need to plan their use? Why is it so crucial? Well, because when we use resources without thinking, just andadund, it leads to 3 massive problems. First, the greed of a few people is causing resources to run out for everyone else. Second, resources have piled up in the hands of a few rich people, making the gap between the rich and poor even wider. And third, this is what leads to scary global crises like global warming, pollution, and land degradation. So, what's the solution? The solution is a really beautiful idea called sustainable development. It basically means we should develop, but with 2 big conditions. 1, we must do it without damaging the environment. And 2, we shouldn't compromise on the needs of our future generations. In simple words, we progress, but we also leave enough for our children and their children. Mahatma Gandhi explained this whole idea in one powerful line long ago. He said, "There is enough for everybody's need, and not for anybody's greed." This single sentence is the entire philosophy of resource conservation. It means there's enough to fulfill everyone's needs, but not enough to satisfy even one person's greed. All right, here's a thought-provoking question for you. In India, we have states like Jharkhand that are super rich in mineral resources, but the regions themselves are economically backward. Why do you think that is? I want you to tell me the name of another such region and the possible reason why in the comments below. Go on, give it a thought. Okay, let's shift gears now to our next mega important topic, India's land resources. Land, zameen. It's literally the foundation of our life and our economy. We live on it, we farm on it, we build our industries on it. Everything depends on it. Now, take a good look at this chart. It shows the breakup of India's land. A massive 43% of our land is plains. That's where most of our agriculture and industry is. Then we have the mountains, making up 30%, which are the source of our beautiful rivers, and the remaining 27% is the plateau region, which is basically a treasure chest of minerals and fossil fuels. But the sad part is, we humans are damaging this precious resource through something called land degradation. What are the main causes? Well, deforestation for mining, like in Jharkhand and Odisha. Overgrazing by animals, which is a big problem in states like Gujarat and Rajasthan, and over-irrigation and farming, which has increased the salt content or salinity in the lands of Punjab and Haryana. After land, let's talk about its most precious top layer, the soil. Soil isn't just dirt, it's a living system. And here's an absolutely mind-blowing fact for you. It takes millions of years to form just a few centimeters of topsoil. Just imagine how precious that makes it. Now, India has many types of soil, but for your board exams, two are absolutely crucial. So we're going to put them head to head. Alluvial soil versus black soil. First up, alluvial soil. This is the most widespread and most fertile soil in India. You'll find it all over the northern plains, deposited by our great river systems, the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. Based on its age, it has two types: Bangar, which is the older alluvial, and Kadar, the newer one, which is much more fertile. And now for black soil, which is also known as Reger soil. Its famous nickname is black cotton soil. Any guesses why? Because it's perfect for growing cotton. Its superpower? It has a very high capacity to hold moisture. It can hold water for a long, long time. You'll find this soil in the Deccan Plateau region, in places like Maharashtra and Saurashtra. But our soil faces a big enemy, soil erosion, which is the washing or blowing away of topsoil. Thankfully, we have some really smart ways to fight it. Things like contour plowing, building steps on hills for terrace farming, planting crops in bands, which is strip cropping, and planting rows of trees to black wind, known as shelter belts. Okay, now it's your turn to be a geographer. For my second question, I want you to tell me which type of soil is mainly found in your state or region. Drop your answers in the comments. I'm really excited to see where you're all from. All right, everyone, before we wrap up this explainer, let's have a super quick revision. These are the points from this chapter that you absolutely must remember. Remember these 4 things. 1. Resources are not free gifts. They are a function of human activity. 2. Sustainable development is the absolute key to our future. 3. If we want to save our resources, planning is not optional, it's essential. And 4. Land and soil are precious treasures, and it is our responsibility to conserve them. Before you go, I have one final challenge for you. If you were given the power to create just one rule for your entire school to conserve any one resource, like water or electricity or paper, what would that one rule be? Share your amazing ideas in the comments. And that's a wrap on our chapter, Resources and Development. I really hope everything is now crystal clear for you. Padhte raho, padhte raho. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.